Hello, my name is Braxton Tucker. I am here with you to discuss my Action Research Project Scholar Commitment. A little bit of background about myself. I currently work for Tacoma Community College as an outreach advisor. Tacoma Community College places me at local high schools in the surrounding area to help students build post-secondary goals such as vocationary schools, 2-year institutions, 4-year institutions, and military services. Therefore, Henry Falls High School is an alternative high school which faces many issues such as students who come from low-income households, who have one single-family household, and often have parents who face incarceration or other issues. For that purpose, students often come to me and say that certain subjects, especially mathematics, do not have a correlation to their reality, and it's hard for them to stay engaged in that. This motivated me to create a workshop based around how mathematics correlates to our reality. And I did so by creating a workshop that I label Scholar Commitment that enables students to comprehend an algebraic word problem, break the algebraic word problem down into a proper equation, and solve the equation. Throughout these steps, I will be using the rapid prototype method and the constructivism method. Rapid prototype will allow the students to gradually see the increases in their knowledge, while constructivism allows the students to correlate what they are learning with past experiences. Throughout this action research project, I had to conduct a literature review, which consisted of 20 articles that helped strengthen my action research project, such as the relevance outside of the classroom, student engagement, at-risk students, the cognitive process of how students understand, and the visual and comprehension reading skills that are necessary in order to complete this project. During the method section, I mentioned that I use rapid prototype and constructivism methods. Also, for the pre-assessment and post-assessment, I have implemented 2 assessments. I have implemented a minute paper that will allow students to express themselves freely. The minute paper had guided questions such as, where do you see mathematics applicable in your reality? When do you use algebra outside of school? And I would allow students to express themselves freely before and after the workshop. Also, I have paired this with a rate scale to where students can circle 1 through 10 their comfortability of completing the goal of comprehending an algebraic word problem, putting the problem into the proper equation, and solving it. The methods were very useful, and the results have shown that 24 out of my 36 students reported scores of 5 or below on their rate scale, judging their comfortability of the goal. Meanwhile, 11 of the 36 participants rated 1 as their comfortability of completing the algebraic goal. This will show that a total of 35 of my students that were in the workshop had scored a 5 or below in their comfortability. Meanwhile, after the workshop, which included a guided instructions portion to where the instructor will show the students how algebraic is applicable within our reality. Here's an example of the minute scale and an example of the rate scale. And this is part of the pre-assessment. There's 2 problems that students must solve. And here's an example of the guided instructions. As I said, set up as a lecture style. The instructor will go over how algebraic equations are relatable to our everyday life, and the instructor will show Examples. The first example focuses on the order of operations, as well as the second example. The third example expresses a variable and how to solve with variables, and how we're using word problems to correlate with the problem so that students can see how going to the grocery store, or how, for this example of a piggy bank and saving money, equates to algebraic equation. I used examples of sports to where the teacher asked the class, did you know shooting a jump shot is considered algebra? You have to calculate the speed, height, and distance of a moving object. Likewise with cooking, converting grams over to ounces, vice versa. And this one was a little fun for the students. Shooting a paper ball into a trash can is still an algebraic equation. You have to understand the speed, time, and distance of the object. And here are more examples of the guided examples that the instructor will show the class. This part is very vital to the student's growth on the post-assessment. The explanation showing how we use algebra when we pump gas. This is very relatable to a lot of my students who drive. And lastly, for grocery shopping. And I also implemented a post-assessment very similar to the pre-assessment, having a rate scale and minute paper questions. And a few answers at the end to show that students are able to execute in the proper equation. And after the post-test, I had the opportunity to analyze the results of the students, which shown that of my 36 students scored 5 or above on the comfortability, while 16 of those individuals rated 7 and above. So a total of my 36 students improved from the pre-assessment, with 35 of them rating 5 and below, and 36 of them rating 5 and above on the post-assessment. The conclusion to this has shown that although student engagement has many critical factors, implementing a curriculum that is applicable to the student's everyday life has shown to increase engagement at Henry Falls High School. This is a nationwide problem. Therefore, I hope that study continues, as I will continue to study as well in this topic. Thank you.